Alright, I think I finally gotten how to just start this well from the beginning. So let's take a look here at just some Metal Gear Solid lore. Just gonna have a good time. Just read up on stuff. So one of my favorite characters was always Psycho Mantis. So let's take a look here. This is a good little quote here. Humans aren't designed to bring happiness to one another. From the moment we're thrown into this world, we're fated to bring each other nothing but pain and misery. That is a very fun quote for any angsty teenager out there. Okay, so in 2005 is when the Shadow Moses Island thing took place. I like how Metal Gear, like, the timeline is kind of like in our time, but because I think like the first game came out in like 2001, I want to say. Attached to the man who harbored negative feelings, thus accompanying the man on fire in pursuit of vengeance. He would later work as a child soldier for XOF under the code name Third Child. After defecting from the organization, he allied himself with young Liquid Snake. I was really bummed out that they didn't do much with Psycho Mantis in the 5th game. Like, they kind of like hyped him up, and you see him like for a little bit, but that's about it. Does it say what village? Just a small village. But what part of the world? It's Caucasian. Okay. Transported to a Moscow research facility from the Czechoslovakia via plane. I can't pronounce anything. I'm such a loser. Via plane during this time, he wore a gas mask to help prevent the thoughts and emotions from other entering his mind. The plane flight path took him near a hospital containing Big Boss and the comatose Venom Snake, whose hateful, subconscious influenced Mantis' control over the power, causing the plane to explode and crash. Was that ever said in the game? Oh, my poor dog is bullying my cat who just wanted to hang out with me. Okay, so Mantis was recovered and sent to the lab, which focused on researching paranormal abilities in individuals. Same place where the body of Volgan was held. Mantis could sense that the anger and resentment of Volgan that he had for Big Boss, and the two were gradually awakening. Volgan's hatred causing the body. So Volgan's hatred, even like post-mortem, I guess, allowed him to live. Mantis and Volgan would have themselves travel to Cyprus, attempted to kill Venom Snake, having recently returned from his coma. Kind of Mantis in front of the elevator. Okay. The two are later found and recruited by XOF Skullface, with Skullface usurping Volgan's controller over Mantis' abilities. Mantis found himself attracted to Skullface, lust for revenge against Cypher, and would assist him in his missions. To control and manipulate Mantis and Volgan, the mental link. Diamond Dog Skull later found out that he could operate metal using the boy as a conduit, no longer needing an AI or a pilot. Just later encountered Venom Snake again at... I can't pronounce those names. During the later mission to recover the honeybee. I just really wish that the last Metal Gear Solid game was just more heavy on the lore, because I feel like that's what everyone likes in a Metal Gear Solid game. During the cinema, Hangar Base gonna reveal the true nature of the man on fire, ordered Mantis to pit him against Venom Snake one final time. Was distracted by Eli's presence in a nearby Diamond Dog's helicopter. But I guess Liquid had a bigger hatred. So controlling even Mantis turned himself on the soldiers, wreaking havoc. Metal Gear decidedly attacks Skullface himself, causing him to become trapped under the debris. Eli, with the assistance, would focus on his effort to attempt to kill After a prolonged battle, was able to... I can't believe it. That's a good quote. That's a good little picture right there. So sad that we didn't get to, like, actually complete the game. My dog is driving me bananas right now. Okay, so Mantis would later aid in extended Mother Base, allowing the two take position of Metal Gear. In the interrogation session, the two would take a number of child soldiers via helicopter back to Africa, establishing a new stronghold that was linked to the Lord of the Flies. The parasite bringing intention. Really, they discovered Venom Snake. So I don't think we got to see this part. After a massive battle with the Diamond Dogs were defeated. Ocelot then informed Venom Snake the entire island was contaminated, meaning they had no other option but to sterilize the area with napalm rounds. Oh no. Knowing that his only option was to mercy kill him now. Snake instead of the gun with one bullet. He was intending to commit suicide, but in front of him and stopped him. He instead extracted the parasite from the infection with his telekinesis, and then convinced Eli to leave with him, using his powers to levitate them both to safely. And then yeah, Shadow Moses, I guess. Part of KBG. Oh, he actually moved to the USA for the FBI. Into the minds of suspected killers. See, I mean, that's fine because you can't really expect like Kohima to like have all this stuff ironed out, because it seemed like he was already pretty crazy, and then saying in the year 2000 he drove too deeply into the mind of a serial killer and adopted the personality. I mean, it seemed like he was always pretty weird, but maybe he learned how to control it before that, and that just kind of like re-triggered him. Psychotic spy offering his services to the highest bidder. During his travels throughout the world, he read thousands of people's and became disgusted. I wonder how they even like lost touch with each other, because it says here like they re-enlisted. He got enlisted by his old ally Liquid. Like, why? I wonder where they, you know, swapped paths. Where they, you know, when they were no longer friends when they came back. Received barcode tattoos on each one of his shoulders. That just makes sense. He seems like he's more property than a person. Okay, so they had implants in their brain, which is why he couldn't read them. Such good writing. Anderson just came up with the idea of tricking Solid Snake. A decoy occupus managed to take over the mind of a rookie soldier whom Snake has encountered in the holding cells. Occupus's death. Shortly after decoy. Okay, yeah. Shortly afterwards, Snake's experienced a brief hallucination. That was always a great pixelated picture. Mantis then asked Snake to put his mask back on because, yeah, I guess if he had those masks off, it would go through there. He had read Meryl's heart and mind, had a large place in her heart, though he did not know if their future lies together. Meryl utilized the lingering guns of the Patriot. Yeah, so this is what I always. So apparently he was the one in charge of everything. He was building up his PMC forces. Psycho Mantis's psychic remnants were somehow harnessed with nanomachines. Everything's with nanomachines in this series. Liquid wasted no time when he was playing a vital role in the creation of the Beauty and the Beast unit. Mantis's psyche was integrated into the minds of the BB core members, screaming Mantis via nanomachines, which made it possible for her to channel the constant state of fear that she could use in battle. Although in time, her psyche was ripped almost entirely, using screaming Mantis nanomachine. So it's not like he really lived through. I guess it's just like his nanomachines did. Nanomachines really was the greatest, like, Deus Ex Machina you could. You just anything that Kohima can explain, just make it just nanomachines, and that it's just no one's gonna ask questions. Fusion cycle. 2004, after our Haven, who is confronted by the final member of the Unit after defeating Shimmy in his suit, reformed and float in the air. Well, as God intervene. Alright. That's pretty cool. I actually had someone join for a second, and they're like, nope, out of this. Psycho Mantis was a powerful practitioner. Yeah, we know that. However, his type could be rendered ineffective if his subject was either strong-willed or possessed surgical implants, or if you just put your controller in the second player slot. As he possessed and tousled red hair, and possessed an emancipated body. He had a misshapen nose with surgical stars. Yeah, he did look pretty cool. God, I really wish. I mean, it was a fun game. It was really fun game. Metal Gear Solid 5 was, but I really wish they did more of this story-wise. Okay, the flames, shrapnel, horns, skull, no. In his younger days, Mantis really spoke. His psychokinesis and telekinesis were such that he was able to move large. Yeah. When influenced by negative feelings of others, he was capable of channeling himself as a conduit. Yeah, okay. He matured to begin to speak more and gain more control over his catastrophic powers. He also held nihilistic views, feeling disgust towards humanity. So he's basically like an incel. He didn't like that other people were trying to pass on their genetics. I wish they would make like an anime of this, or like a manga. I think there was actually already kind of a manga. Unconfirmed history. Whatever. I wonder where this came from then. This shot change. Okay, so. Gee, man. This mental shockwave killed 1,000. I think that is part of it. I remember kind of remembering like. That was like what he said in his cutscene. That he killed 1,000 residents of his village home. That is like. Dad was gonna kill him, so he killed everybody else. Credit to the KGB due to his impressive ESP build. Mantis honed his psychokinetic power, suppressing the parasite persona within him to present his self-destruction. Successfully holding the parasite in check, he managed to avoid descending into his insanity. It was from his alternate personality that emerged the nickname Mantis. He chose his restrictive attire. His choice of restrictive attire helped him contain his persona within. Okay. So basically he wore what he did to kind of like stop from other thoughts coming through to him. Okay, so at one point Mantis and Octopus worked together, although the event left Ocelot deeply distrusting of Mantis due to his inhuman nature. Wow, this led Ocelot to later try to dissuade Liquid from trusting him at Shadow Moses, though he dismissed these warnings simply as being the typical rivalry between ex-Soviet operatives. And then, I guess Ocelot at the end was the double agent, kind of. Behind the scenes appears in Metal Gear Solid as the antagonist. Yeah, that was fun. Okay. I'm more in for the story here. Dude, was he in Ground Zeroes? Complete the mission. I don't remember being in Ground Zeroes. To recreate in-game, Miller forgets to upload the image depicting it. And just look at the back of the case. That was always good. Okay, I want to see some trivia. There's got to be some good trivia, right? No trivia. Now that is disappointing. But I think I saw Fat Man, because I definitely want to see Fat Man then. Laugh and grow fat. I want to do like a whole... I should do a whole bunch of videos just like on Metal Gear Solid people. Fat Man. Okay, so this came out in 2009. Well, I mean, that's when the Big Shell thing happened. It was in 2009, a few years after Shadow Moses. Alright, so he was interested in explosives at a young age, neglected by his parents. Nothing ever goes good at clock stores. I've learned that from Watchmen. All things mechanical and time as well. He eventually managed to build an atomic bomb at 10 years old. Finding a guidebook on the internet. Yeah, it was definitely, yeah, the internet back in like the early 2000s, and you could really get away with anything. Now if you try to like probably type in how to build a bomb, you're definitely going to end up on some list. But back then, I think you could get away with it. So yeah, I mean that would definitely get him some notice. At some point in his life, Fat Man transferred to Indian Head, where he was trained by former NYPD bomb squad Peter Stillman. They passed each other. He rejected the rules, grew up to loathe his mentor. Oh man, Batman later joined Dead Cell as a bomb expert and helped construct bombs that were used to simulate terrorist attacks to train military and government organizations. He said that he had to keep his hands soft and smooth as a woman's, and said he either spent his time admiring his hands or giving them manicures. Did he paint his nails? Even he had a bit of extra spare time he spent it disassembling and reassembling his Glock 18 over and over again. Now this makes me want to make a video just on all these characters. I think I am. I know it's not very contemporary, but I think it would be great to do like, not so much a deep dive, but just kind of talk about each one of these bosses, because I loved Metal Gear Solid. I still do. Okay. So, yeah, he helped take him out. I used it there, but Fat Man was just acting on his own, right? Fat Man expressed ignorance. The former having been deliberately misinformed by his CEO after neutralizing Fat Man's bombs, causing him to complain that he had nothing to wear to the party. I got nothing to wear to the party. Before dying, he activated. Yep. Since they're beginning to suspect that they have been planted by the Patriots, that they had merely become stereotypical mad bomber. Fat was indeed an agent of the Patriots, designed to test Raiden's ability as part of the S3 plan in order to determine how to produce valid data. He had only agreed to take part as opportunity kills Menor. Yeah, that was cool. Alright, so he was highly intelligent, but though he was lacking common sense. Ah, that's interesting. His intelligence was highlighted by him creating, a bomb at 10 years old. That's crazy. In addition, they enjoy destruction, laughing maniacally. The greatest humanity had to offer in its lower, the later part of having a hint of thrill when saying it. It implied that most of his behavior stemmed from his parents' neglect, shunned by his... okay. Are villains created, or are villains born, or are they made? He's very, narcissistic. I'm an artist. Batman's explosives all carried the scent of a signature cologne. And testament to his love, Fat Man he sported pink fingernails. I knew it. I knew he had pink fingernails. He had diamond earrings. I would love to try to see that. Do we get to see a little up? Maybe. That might be a diamond earring. Man. Yeah, now I have to. I gotta do one now just to take a look at that. His earrings. Okay. Van was willing to put his own allies in harm's way. Yes, he was. Alright, behind the scenes. Okay, so Van was hired on without any knowledge of the Patreon's existence, even though it strongly implies that involvement several times were being talking to Raiden. Well, again, this kind of game is so hard to write for that how could you keep track of everything? he had tried to make them both obese and good looking at the same time. I feel like that's gonna get you canceled nowadays. I don't know why shooting the bomb blast 3 times. This can be done by hitting me 3 times close quarters. That was such a hard fight as a kid. Ugh, it was so annoying to have to find those bombs. I am just so shocked. Is there no trivia either for this one? That's so sad. I keep wanting to try to see my dog. The Colonel. The Colonel. Real name GW. Well, I guess this is... Okay, because the Colonel is based off of the Colonel from... So this is the Colonel, yeah, from Metal Gear Solid 2. But I guess I want to, like, learn more about whatever the frickin' Colonel's real name is. I'm gonna get some water. Okay. So he's not even real. It's just a combination of GW's AI. So he like literally lived in like the big shell. When Raiden used the codec, he was able to access his brain through nanomachines. Creating memories? During the events of Raiden's mission, the Colonel also lied. Maybe that the son ransom of... Oh, how much is that? That's 1,000? 30 billion? Is that how much that is? 30 billion? That would be 300 million. I guess if you're gonna take something like that, you might as well make it worth your while. I gotta learn what the S3 is. I already got that up there. That's probably gonna be the next thing I read. Okay, so when he did upload, Emma did. Okay, so when Emma uploaded that virus, I think very strangely, when Raiden remembered that he never even met the Colonel once, the Colonel signed off. I'm playing that we're holding Rosemary hostage as lever. I gotta look at Rosemary. And not a real person. It was then that the Colonel, in desperation to dissuade Raiden from continuation, although Solid Snake told Raiden that it was a trick, the Colonel's AI eventually deleted by the virus. Announcing the true intentions of the S3 plan. Colonel ordered Raiden to kill Solidus. If Raiden refused or died, the Patriots would terminate Rose, their unborn child, and Olga's daughter, Sunny. Let's do that. Rose and go into finishing off Solidus. A new character. Okay, so in Hideo Kojima's game plan, it was originally intended to be a new character who takes his name. Okay, Max and Doc. Colonel is never once referred to anything but Colonel, although the name tag on his codec screen model reads Campbell. Yeah, okay, yeah, Roy Campbell was like the actual guy's name. When the Colonel AI becomes malfunctioning, among the random phrases he says to Raiden by codec is dialogue, Big Boss mission. Okay, so these are just like, those are just like those funny things that he would say. In addition, such a great part of the game. He does not wait. Although the Colonel himself doesn't appear in Snake Eater, yeah, because it's not the Colonel's not in that. Roy Campbell. Okay, who's a Kodakawa fighting Luigi? The Colonel's AI instead of the real King of Second Bananas. Ah, that was such a funny thing to do. Alright, well, I want to know more about Roy Campbell, but I want to also see about the S3 plan. Selection for Societal Sanity, just initially believed to have stood for the Solid Snake Simulation, due to misinformation, was a program in order to manipulate world events and the decisions of individuals, as well as essentially mold these individuals. The S3 plan was tested. Man, again, just Kojima was ahead of his time with this sort of stuff. Am I even on screen at all? How do I look? And now my dog's going crazy. There he goes. Okay. My neighbors have to hate me, but whatever. Okay, so obviously there was a lot of similarities here. He thinks he's gonna get pets because he was bad, but I'm not gonna do it. But now he's just gonna go run off to go bark at them some more. Like I said, he thinks he's gonna get presents. But maybe if I pet him, he'll just sit next to me. Alright, so they both made their way through swimming. Yeah, that was cool. And both incidents in Nikita, You're in Snake between Big Boss. In both incidents, one major character viewed Snake as an idol, and Snake indirectly gave lectures to them. So many lectures. I can't even talk on stream barely, and here Snake is in an active battlefield giving life lessons that are probably more relevant than anything I've ever learned in my life. Alright. Mission supports. I want to know more. I get it. Yeah, there were similarities. I don't need to know all the similarities. I played the game. Okay, so I just want to know what it really meant. Okay, yeah, so manipulating the information that surrounded the incident, the Patriots had proved that they could manipulate world events as well as mold individuals as they see fit. Using the data they collected from this exercise, their AIs would improve even more. That's so anime. The GW was presumed destroyed by Emma's worm cluster. Wow, this is a very short thing that seemed to be very important. As a result, the Patriots plan began preparations to control peoples at the civilian level. Also create the Sons of Patriots system through AT Corp and the war economy. That was very, very much of a letdown. I was expecting a much longer thing. during the game over signals. Really? Apparently kills Slash after reuniting with him in the Arsenal Gear portion of the Plant chapter. That'd be kind of cool. And the ending for the non-canon game mobile, they chose Raiden for the SD canon because their attempt to use Solid Snake as a guinea pig for their project caused a crash in the simulation. There's a novelization of Metal Gear. How have I not heard of that? That was a very disappointing explanation there. I'm not gonna lie. That's kind of a scary picture of Rose. This artwork is so... This kind of style is so cool. It's very mysterious too. It does kind of give like a good feeling. Like you can't really tell what's going on in those photos. It's like an illusion. Okay, so during her adult years, she was a data analyst for the Pentagon before working as a spy for the Patriots. She was a spy. She was ordered to keep an eye out on the soldier named Jack by developing romancing with him, reinventing herself to suit his taste. Yeah, she changed all that. They first met in 2007. April 30th, coming up. Oh yeah, that's their anniversary. A week later, Rose became reacquainted with when they discovered that they worked in the same military base as an intelligence analyst. The pair went on their first date at the Empire State Building after they went to King Kong several times. Rose continued to Jack for the next 2 years. Okay. Jack would remain distant, you know, that's fair, because she was kind of a spy. He would never spend the entire night with her, no let her into the room, concerned for Jack, and partially suspicious that he might have been cheating on her. Void of any personal effects, aside from the bed and a small desk. Well, you know, if he's always busy, you know, who cares? Alright, so she was part of his team. Yeah, okay. Chicken out. She also partly decided to become part of the mission and support me, make sure that she didn't chicken out of stuff that she needed, on the stuff that she needed to settle with Raiden on, because that's all Raiden needed while he was there, but just to be hen-hecked or whatever it's called, hen-pecking. But I guess that was all the point, you know, just put a whole bunch of shit on, you know, Raiden. Rose supported Raiden during his infiltration of the Big Shell plant by providing information on the facility's layout. Okay. Okay, so there was a real Rose and there was an AI Rose. That makes sense. Is this gonna be like... Okay, so this is AI Rosemary. So there are 2 different Rosemarys. Okay, so following Rose free from their custody, just waiting, reunited with Raiden in front of Federal Hall, echoing their first meeting 2 years. Raiden proposed to her. Yeah, but what happened? Okay, so sometime after that, Rose and Raiden lived together as a couple. However, their relationship began to deteriorate when he became haunted. Okay, Liberian War, and that's fair enough. Child soldiers probably got some crazy PTSD. Rose started to feel scared of Raiden, and despite Roy Campbell's attempts to save the couple from each other, Rose did give birth to a healthy baby boy, but probably she and Campbell lied, and so the baby had been miscarried. Oh man, retreated to Alaska thinking that he would not be able to have a normal life. Campbell staged a marriage with Rose to protect her and John from the Patriots and convinced her to become a psychological counselor. Her and Campbell's sham marriage also caused the latter's daughter, Meryl, would hate him for that. In the meantime, well, I guess that would be kind of weird, because I bet Rose and Meryl are like the same age. Okay, in 2014, Campbell requested that Rose use her new talents as a psychological counselor. Okay, that's okay, that's fine. She was first introduced to Snake by radio during his activities in South America and continued to support him. Later, while witnessing Snake's painful crawl through the corridor... Oh yeah, that was sad. Rose visited a super injured Raiden in the hospital. With the danger of discovery having passed, Rose tilted... Okay. Well, that. I feel like the loser on that is the son. Who doesn't... Living with one guy, I don't know what they told him. They told him Roy was his dad. I don't know. That would be kind of confusing. Rose was widely considered to be a terrible cook. Raiden also tried to avoid the subject whenever she offered to cook for him. That's funny. He preferred rations over Rose's home cooking. Oh, snap. Snap, crackle, and pop. Raiden was able to ingest Rose cooking, turning his taste sensors off. Oh, that's so sad. Rose expressed some tolerance towards smoking and was of Snake's smoking habits. Although she did nonetheless give general health warnings to Snake regarding the prolonged use of tobacco, she was also aware Raiden had smoking habits too. What? When the Colonel told Raiden not to scatter any of the items in the Strut-C kitchen, that he was cleaning things up. Which led him to mentioning Rose's room. However, before he could finish his statement, she told him not to say any more. So apparently, Rose had a bunch of friends online. Very otaku. Behind the scenes. Is this like a book Grand Game Plan, the GGP? I would love to know that. Was originally intended to die at the end of the game. Oh, she was going to be among the hostages that read the big shell, but would have been transferred to a different area of the base, thus causing the player that she even existed. She was also intended to have been a news anchor. Okay, that'd be kind of cool. All this was eventually scrapped. Rosemary as well as Naomi Hunter were part of the reason why she found designing female characters more difficult, since Kojima viewed them as his ideal woman. Okay. So apparently Kojima has a bit of a waifu thing going on there. Rose and Jack, Raiden's real names, are mentioned in the James Cameron film Titanic. Oh. Just tend to be blonde, brown hair. So kind of switched. Rose is partially based on Kojima's wife, who, while they were still engaged, constantly asked when they would marry. This was incorporated into Rose's constant asking Raiden about that. He felt Rose one of the worst received characters in the series. He found this to be ironic, as Rose is the only female character in the series at the time to be based on a real person. Ouch. I can't believe that people think Rose is like the least likable character. I mean, she's just kind of neutral. I'm gonna get my face better in this. That's probably better. There we go. Okay. Let's get you wearing military uniform. Okay, so in casting theater, this is one of the scenes that can have Rose kill Raiden. What? There's one scene where the player can have Rose kill Raiden on top of the rooftop. Watching this scene in the HD, I gotta see that. That sounds hilarious. When they first met, Rose and Raiden argue about which building. Okay, yeah. Although she doesn't appear directly in Substance's Snake's Tale, external Stargazer, she was alluded to in some of the external Stargazer. Her avatar was summoned alongside Raiden, avatar by Solidus Snake to deal with Solid Snake, while Solidus noting they were infamous for their actions, with their misdeeds being enough to earn them the combined hate of the entire universe. Whoa. If the player's gets a game over, sometimes Rosemary will make a silent gasp. Okay. Jack! For obvious reasons, yeah. The boss's interaction with... Her meeting with Raiden in Metal Gear Solid 2, as well as her proposal roofing who bears in Raiden. Okay, so besides the incident reference in the main game, she also appears in the secret theater parroting film. Okay, Snaky Racer. Yeah, I did see that. That's cool. She doesn't receive an introduction title. What does that mean? While communicating with Rose, will be wearing a different sweater depending on which time of the day is being played. Oh, that's awesome. In addition to moving, oh yeah, her breast will bounce. Alright, so if the player dies and in any way chooses to continue and then calls Rose, Snake will explain that he felt as though he died recently. Also citing the specific method of his death. Oh, that's so fun. They got to... I gotta get a PlayStation again so I can play these games. Just say that she felt... however, the death in question was from being caught in an explosion. She will be the one to state that she felt as though Snake died instead of Snake telling her this. If Snake kills a wolf dog or a raven and calls Rose, she'll tell him that he'll face a psychiatric evaluation. I want to play these games again so much. Little John had been killed by Desperado due to the references of the family being killed. Okay, so I definitely want to look at the Patriots next, but is there just no trivia? That's one of my favorite things about these wikis, is when there's trivia. Big Boss, is there trivia? Oh my goodness. Naming controversy. How is there no trivia for any of these freaking characters? This is very upsetting. I mean, I find... Oh, it's a cancel board game. I was about to freak out. Alright, well, that's disappointing that there's no trivia. But, I mean, there's sort of trivia. There's so many YouTube videos to make on this subject. Okay. We're probably not going to stream too much longer for this stuff. Alright, so let's take a look here on the Patriots. Originally known as Cypher, also known as the Lo, secret organization controlled by the United States. Covertly controlled, oh, they controlled the USA. The group was formed to fulfill the ideal of a unified world. Okay. Okay, so the beginning of the Patriots. There's the philosophers using funds, okay. Alright, so the legacy was stolen from the DCI because of Gene, former agent of Ocelot. Before killing the DCI, Ocelot proclaimed that he and Zero were going to the end to take back the DCI. After Ocelot's intense speech, he executed the DCI, that looked like a suicide. Zero later contacted Ocelot and invited him to partake in his new organization. Joined the organization as well. Zero recruited Big Boss and Ocelot along with two Fox comrades, Signet and Paramedic, and the former Chinese philosopher's agent Eva. In essence, the six were the founding members, were all directly influenced by the boss, and all were directly involved in Operation Snake Eater. The group then began plans. Oh yeah, I think Signet became the DARPA chief. The group then began to unite the world by governing from behind the scenes. Zero uses his influence to turn Big Boss into an idol-like figure for the world to follow. Though Big Boss grew to resent this puppet-like role, The views of the two men were also begin to differ. In regards to the interpretation of Big Boss's will, Zero took the concept to mean control of the entire world by a group under a single, Les enfants, I can't speak French. Tension between Big Boss and Zero continued to grow. Afraid of losing their idol, Zero carried out a secret project in which Paramedic would use his Big Boss's DNA to create a number of clones, with Eva serving as the surrogate mother. Salad and Liquid were born, and a third son would later be made. However, this proved to be the final straw between Big Boss and Zero, which is fair enough. Very true, big and, good enough. I would be mad too. After Big Boss left, Eva did too, but Ocelot remained a spy for them to keep an eye out on the organization. Zero, Paramedic, and Signet stayed with the organization, became increasingly power hungry. That's sad. Oh, that makes me sad about Paramedic. Paramedic became a morally corrupt doctor. Oh my god. As the head of Foxhound medical staff. I love a mad scientist. And it's so much fun because, like, you play, they're on your team at the beginning of Metal Gear Solid 3. That's incredible. Sigma would abuse his position in his DARPA by accepting bribes. Oh my god. Wait, why do you need bribes at that stage? You're already in charge, basically, of the United States. But hey, power trips are crazy. To hiding results of Big Boss leaving. Okay. In 1974, Cypher recruited money and technology for Hot Coleman's Peace Walker. Yeah. Specifically met Zero in person in order to make contact with Big Boss. Okay, Cypher also contacted Miller with a business proposal how to expand Big Boss's. Okay, yeah. Following the large military expansion of MSF to defeat the Coleman, Cypher ordered Pacifica to hijack the new Metal Gear. Big Boss, and offer Big Boss the chance to serve the organization, proclaiming that Zeke was Cypher's creation. Cypher intended that the MSF act as a deterrent against enemy forces. I wonder when he put all this together. I mean, I feel like every game, Kojima was just kind of making stuff up. Okay, so Cypher had originally closed due to suspicion of the U.S. naval facility being converted into a black site as well. Cypher was known as GCS and a rivalry extent around the same time. Big Boss. Wait, so it was. At this time, they also captured an MSL engine. He was rescued by Big Boss during the mission to sabotage the base's AA turrets. The prisoner, when rescued, revealed that Cypher also intended to create a humanist network without borders and was using several messages to coerce foreign leaders into submitting to their will, including blackmail on the backdoor money scandals and financial fraud. To the west, back to the east. Okay, so when did they blow it up? Eventually discovered that Paz had survived her encounter with Big Boss. Suspecting that her integrity as an agent had been compromised, they had her detained in Cuba, which was being used as a detention facility for enemies of the state. Okay. Actually, Huey Emmerich accepted the request to and intended to conceal Metal Gear Zeke when it took place. Big Boss retrieve. Okay, yeah, and then in the Caribbean, the attack proved successful, resulting in severe casualties on the MSF's end, eventually falling into the coma. Following as to hunt down. Wait. Skullface used the information gained from Paz earlier interrogation to hunt down his boss Zero for reasons related to revenge. Once he tracked down Zero's location, he infected him with a parasite, which over time destroyed all his cognitive functions. Due to his declining health, Zero sought to put in place a system that would govern Cypher for years. Okay, and that's what came the computer stuff. And then the AIs got too crazy. So after awakening from his coma in 1984, Venom Snake was informed by Ocelot that Cypher was conducting research on a new... I want to make actual videos about this because this is so interesting. To further investigate the rumor, Venom Snake performed several missions in Afghanistan in order to discover the current whereabouts of Cypher and eventually caught a break. Skullface has seized control of Cypher and Zero after infecting him. Okay, yeah, wait. Leaving his former commander in a vegetative state. After the death of Skullface, the organization took back control. Okay. Despite being enciphered later, retrieved Code Talker's research materials from Lufua Valley with zero risk. Yeah, okay. Aside from this, Cypher was also intended to having a total control of the world's energy sources while being suspected of hiring the private force to sabotage pipelines. Okay. Oh, XOF, you're crazy. Oh, Cypher. I don't know why Zero had to go so bad. Alright, so ultimately ended a failure, being killed in the battle by this time. Oh, that's sad. Donald Anderson. Patriots overseen by Donald Anderson to avoid a repeat of the mammal pod hacking of the NORAD during the Peace Walker incident. They bound the AI specific rules with which limits his... Well, that didn't last long, I bet. The main purpose for this filtration was to ensure that concepts driving society appeared the same to each person within it, so any information that went against this was simply filtered out, ensuring that people would come to believe what Cypher wanted them to believe. Okay. Post-Phantom Pain. As time passed, the Patriots gained more and more control of the American government. During the 1990s, the Patriots, through the Pentagon, genetic testing, so they were the ones who made the genetic testing soldiers. Okay, during the final years, retrieved a child soldier from a relief shelter through non-governmental organization, having been kidnapped by the Patriots and taken away from his commander, Solid Snake. The child was selected due to the hatred he had for himself and for denial of what he did. That's great. So he already had like a disassociative personality, which is probably great for like grooming, because if they already are disassociating, you know, that's perfect. Chief of Naval Operations allegedly committed suicide, resulting in the... By the 1990s, Big Boss attempted a coup. Okay, first in Outer Haven using his Phantom, and then in Zanzibar Land. However, he was thwarted both times by Solid Snake. Zero's insurance policy having paid off. The Patriots then had Big Boss placed in a nanomachine-induced coma. That's great. To imprison both his physical body and consciousness. Okay. Infuriated by this, Eva and Ocelot schemed on how to stop the Patriots. Oh, good old Ocelot. Dr. Clark oversaw the gene research program, which would bear the next generation special forces. Alright, so by the year 2000, the AI had become Zero's true successor. They were formless. This is so scary, because that's probably really what is going on. I would love to find out that, like, Elon Musk is actually doing something like this. Patriots laying the groundwork for the eventual activation of these AIs. The program allegedly suspected to counteract the Y2K bug that was all distributed. Oh, that's so great. So they tricked them with like a Y2K bug. The program also contained a sub-program that would be activated once GW's information manipulation and control capabilities were completely installed at a later time. At some point, JD was launched into outer space. Who the hell is JD? Did I miss something? Oh, it's a satellite and placed around the space debris to orbit Earth to make tracking more difficult. Did Could he come up with all this by himself? By the 21st century, the Patriots had achieved immense political power, controlling the Americas. Okay, would select and who would serve as president and would stage presidential elections. Believe that the voters had control of the government. The nation was still being led according to the Constitution, and always utilized cutouts when contacting the president with instructions. In addition, their identities were kept secret because they weren't even real. Not even to a degree that not even those who have a code word clearance would know about them. With even the president, under the pretense of being okay. 2002, DARPA chief Donald Anderson was bribed, Kenneth Baker to back Metal Gear Rex program. This global trend of military downsizing. As such, I hear my dog somewhere, making it unbearable by radar. Yeah. 2003, Eva enlisted the assistance of Naomi Hunter and Gray Fox in order to have Dr. Clark killed. Gray Fox was able to exact revenge on Dr. Clark for all the years of torment he had suffered during her gene therapy experiments. Covered it up. Okay. Now we're just at Shadow Moses now. 2005, DARPA chief Donald Anderson. Yeah, we saw that. Okay. Acting against the Patriots. Oh, so so George Sears, aka Solidus Snake, directly instigated the Shadow Moses by having his agent incite Liquid Snake into revolting against the U.S. government. Foxhound. During his torture session, killed Donald Anderson, aka the DARPA chief, I believe, who was aware of Ocelot's identity. The Patriots became involved in the incident through the Pentagon, who uses Foxdie virus. They countered Sears' plan by using Solid Snake as an attempt to rescue Donald Anderson, also using him as the vector for Foxdie in order to leave Rex. Undamaged for his retrieval. The Pentagon also sent Merrill, having anticipated its occurrence due to earlier DoD, and used her to force Ray Campbell into cooperating with the mission, threatening to arrange for Merrill's death, and also Campbell's death should the latter be exposed. Oh my goodness. The Patriots used Secretary of Defense Jim Houshman, who took charge of the entire operation, who gave order for Naomi Hunter. So additionally, Richard Ames, who overseen the Foxdie program, forced his ex-spouse, Natasha, who really had a small role in the series overall. She really is, just in that one game. However, aware of the Liquid, however, was unaware at the moment, and shortly after Rick to kill them. The Patriots eventually placed Houseman under arrest, directly interfered with the operation by ordering a bombing raid on Shadow Moses, ruining the chance to complete the cover-up of the incident. The Patriots also intended for Natasha to die at the end of the incident, but Ames, and gave her the Foxdie data as well as the Shadow Moses incident to keep the Patriots from harming her, lest she leak the data out on the web. That is cool. Oh, my little doggy. I love him. Solid Snake defeated Rex. Later leaked. Killed to escape by going underground with the help of Ocelot. The Patriots also secretly continued the experiment on the imprisoned genome soldiers after publishing a cover story. Training rumors. For the overall events claiming that the Sons of Liberty, radical right-wing group, had taken control of Shadow Moses ordered from federal penitentiaries. Journalist was captured by the Patriots because of having the disc containing sensitive information. He was interrogated within the weather station, but was subsequently rescued by an invisible savior. Solid Snake, good guy, Solid Snake. But in 2007, they wanted to do a new, with Ray. Okay. In August, decided to eliminate any threats posed by Ray's development. Okay. Okay, I guess you're in charge, but you're not really in charge, because, like, did not fall in line with the Patriots' plan. Okay, but I guess you kind of let things happen, and then you take it over, just because it seems like they should be in control of all this stuff if they're, like, you know, in charge of the military in, like, all of the United States. I don't know why they would let Ray even become a thing. Was linked into philanthropy in order to lure. Okay. The later of whom would become a hero in the wake of Shadow Moses, while Snake infiltrated the dummy oil tanker. The Patriots monitored their Kodak communication channels and took over the cabinet. He later betrayed them, sank the ship, and stole. Wait, Patriot agent Revolver Ocelot took over the tanker with help. Okay, but he later betrayed them, as in Olga's family. For the Patriots, the incident was a success. The Patriots immediately sent the loaded tanker to the same location, sunk it, and then, so that can make them the big shell. Arsenal gear was the Patriots tool for securing power. The Patriots hoped to use Arsenal as a way of shaping the truth to fit the agenda. Arsenal gear served as the Patriots' sole purpose. Okay, yeah, that's all they did was just want to do that. They could censor and delete unwanted information that could loosen their grip on the United States. For instance, GW controlled the information through media, television, and mainly the free flow of data from the internet. It's so scary how this is kind of happening now. After the Taker incident, the staged a terrorist attack that would later attribute to the SEALs anti-terrorist squad Del Cell. This was done to make Dead Cell go renegade. In 2008, the Patriots led the extremist campaign against Dead Cell that would eliminate 2 of its members, Chinaman and Old Boy, while 3 members, Fortune, Fat Man, and Vamp, survived. Okay. They also manipulated the president into defecting into Solid as a Snake by feeding and denying his ambitions to become full member of the Patriots. Oh my god, instead of mere pawn. At some point during this time, they also injected one of their agents with life-monitoring nanomachines that would take away the injected person's life if one of the pawns failed its mission. Alright. In April 2009, the Patriots staged their plan by manipulating the information that surrounded the Big Shell incident. Their agent was sent to test the exercise and force Olga to assist him. Eventually, Rosemary admitted her stance as a Patriot agent. That's not good. You don't want to let the Patriots down. Definitely don't want to do that. So after GW was infected with Emma's worm cluster, it crashed, killing many civilians. Oh my god, destroying national. Using the data they collected from the exercise would improve even more. They explained they intend to control humanity. Information as well, revealing they actually lied to Ocelot in regards to the actual details of the plan. Codenamed the S3 plan, which acted as an experiment for them to see if they could intend to manipulate humanity's personalities and memories, which they can. After explaining their plans as well as the reason why they chose Raiden, the Master AI told Raiden to kill the Patriots defector. Raiden refused, but then they did it. Okay. Trace the Patriots information from Archer. Discover that all 12 members have been dead. Yeah, that was just a dummy thing. So originally Zero had commissioned the creation of the Patriots AI because he had become skeptical that his human subordinates would be able to successfully carry on without his will. Okay. However, the synthetic nature of the system was meant that it was necessary for the instructions provided by it to be carried out by humans, and when Zero's will was put to the hands of others, it began to decay over time. At an unknown point in the proxy AIs also underwent a mutation that gave them the will of their own and enabled them to decide on a better way to accomplish their goals. They created the war economy and started a battlefield revolution similar to the industrial and digital revolutions. Okay. Besides expanding the war economy, the Patriots also redid their cyborg ninjas. Okay. Raiden was captured during a mission for the Paradise Lost Army and ended up becoming placed in a cyborg ninja body. Oh no, but after removing his skull from his upper jaw down. Oh my. And his spine from his body that nearly killed him. Oh, that was so crazy. Besides Raiden, they also conducted on at least 30 other individuals. Poor Raiden. Poor Raiden. Okay, so here we're coming near the end of this. So in 2014, Liquid Ocelot brought five of the biggest private military companies to his control under a single mother company. The 5 companies together rivaled that of the United States military in firepower. And Liquid was preparing to unleash to counter Liquid's plans, Patriots managed to trick and manipulate Meryl and her group and enlisted Drebin, who, unlike the others, knew of his stance as a Patriot agent. Somehow, I guess. We'll have to read more about Drebin, to assist Old Snake and Otacon on their mission to terminate Liquid Ocelot. I wonder if Old Snake just brings in a Solid Snake. Yeah. The Patriots had Drebin inject an unassuming Snake with a new Fox-Die virus to kill the rival Patriot faction, Liquid Ocelot, should Snake fail in killing him himself. Big Mama, Liquid himself, Big Mama. Oh, okay. Gotcha. The Patriots were ultimately destroyed by Fox Alive virus, created by Naomi Hunter and Sunny, who borrowed some of the same code from the original virus. Fox Alive. I mean, whatever. I mean, it's kind of clever, I guess. You have so much lore to work with. You might as well have a little callback. With the Patriots' AIs destroyed and Liquid Ocelot defeated by Snake, there was only one more threat that needed to be eliminated. Zero. That's so sad. So that made Big Boss awake from his coma. Big Boss then wheeled him over to the Arlington Cemetery, and after explaining to Snake about the full story about what happened in regards to the Patriots, Big Boss euthanized Zero by cutting off his oxygen supply. Shortly thereafter, Big Boss died from the effects of the new Fox-Die virus within Snake, thus ending the Patriots for good. However, the Patriots were defunct. Drebin implied that their closest successors might be the United Nations, and that oppressive cycle would continue. Because why not? So after the fall of the Patriots, more people, including Courtney Collins, didn't manage to find out about the Patriots' existence. And you can't not have a vacuum. There's probably a huge vacuum after everyone died like that. And the AI went down. Even those who did not know about the Patriots did not often state there would become either a result of a crash bombs. Thanks in part of the Fox Alive, the information that the Patriots have been covered up, been exposed, including the cyborg development techniques that resulted in a surplus of cyborg development. They would later leave the mark on their world as PMCs. The Patriots, once tightly controlled, start to break up the different factions and began running autonomous operations against each other. Later, Raiden later encountered them and extracted their left arms. Besides leaving their mark in the war economy, they also left their mark in other areas, especially notably the example of censorship. Okay. Founding members Zero, Ocelot, Big Boss, Sigint, Dr. Clark, Paramedic. That's so cool. Behind the scenes. Well, that's a lot of fun. This is just going to be a short stream today, so I hope you all enjoyed it. Bye.